Hello, and welcome to the Cup TV, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality, and we can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm your girl Lana, your resident evil diva, and I'm here to give the tea, spill the tea, and drink the tea because you know I love me some tea. Purr. And today I am just drinking some water. I am, yes, Jack, it's the same one, but it's getting down.
It's getting down there. It's significantly down. We're good.
Yep,
We're good for the moment. It's
it'll
only
be
been a
good.
day.
It's only been a day, so tomorrow maybe we'll have new water. Who knows? We'll see. But what I do have that's more important than the how much water I drink is my cup mug. One, two, three. That makes a panel full of cup mugs. Panel full of cup mugs. Bum, 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 bum. Amazing Race Edition Air. Shoo. That's my plane. That was my airplane. Um, you can get your cup mug or any of our beautiful cup merch at lanagscreations.etsy.com. That link will be in the description below. And we do ship internationally and domestically here in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. So there are no excuses. Unless your postal service decides it's a little slow. And that's okay because a delay is never a deny. It will come. Period.
Work. I am brand new professional fangirl of Conscious Dragon video games. It's weird. Again, it's weird for me being on the TV channel because I'm so used to the drag channel. So this is still weird to me. I'm drinking just water. I'm drinking out of my Dunkin' cup because I had coffee earlier. So I was just like, you know what? To melt the ice, I'm just gonna put water in it. So and it's remnants right now.
Work.
So yeah.
I mean, I do the same thing so often. I get it. Hello, my name is Jack. I am the resident game designer of the panel, and surprise, we're back.
We're back.
And we're ready for the biggest season ever. And I just have some orange juice and tea.
I mean, so Phil says. Phil says this is the biggest season ever. And, you know, all we could do is trust and believe that. And they started off with the facts because we have never seen some of the things that went down in this episode before, so I'm very excited. So I'm taking your word, Phil. This is the biggest season of them all, and I believe you on that. And we're going to talk all about this episode, this premiere episode of The Amazing Race. So excited it's back. I'm glad to be back. I know we were all excited for The Amazing Race, so we're excited to have it back. But before we jump into it, we need you to do us a small favor. Hit the subscribe button. That's all I ask. That's all we ask you to do. Hit the subscribe button because we are on a mission here at the Cup TV to get 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. And we need you to do that. So just go ahead. Push the button. Go ahead. Do it right now. It takes a half of a second. Go ahead. You see their faces? They're waiting for you to do it. They're waiting. Thank you. We appreciate you because we are trying to hit 8,000 subscribers, like I said, at the end of the year. So if we do that, if we have that for you, if you all appreciate the content that we're giving you, we appreciate you, and we appreciate that you just help and support us. And our other channels are trying to hit those same goals as well. So go to the description below, click the link tree and get all of our links to at the Cup Pod, which is our drag channel, which do drag and drag race. That has 1,000, but we would like 1,000 more. So get on it. Our Cup ESC, who covers all things Eurovision Song Contest, they are in the midst of it all right now. It is popping off on the ESC channel. So y'all want to go check that out and subscribe there as well. And on our Ringside channel, which covers all things WWE, it's going great. We just had a great elimination chamber. It's been amazing. We're on the road to WrestleMania. So you need to go check out that channel as well if that's what interests you. And yeah, our audio podcast link is also down in the description below. So check us out if you need to check us out on the go. And our Patreon is there. So we have a lot of fun things coming up and hopping off in our Patreon. So if you want to check that out, see what we do when we're not talking about Drag Race or Amazing Race or wrestling or Eurovision, we got some stuff popping off in there too. So check that out. So that's it. I'm ready to get into it. Y'all ready to talk about it? Because episode 1 started off with the bang. We got 14 contested 14 teams. 14 teams. We've never had 14 teams before. So that already shown us that Phil was not lying. This is the biggest thing we've ever seen in Amazing Race. How do we feel about 14 teams?
I feel like we felt that it was 14 teams this episode because we got like some backstories and info on, I'd probably say about half the teams, but there are multiple teams this episode that I can think of that got essentially nothing besides them on camera doing things. We never got to really know about them. We never got to really see them traveling. So unfortunately, we kind of had a weird dichotomy of like, oh, okay, we're getting info about this team. They're about to do really well or going home. Literally, that's basically the only people we got besides like 2 other groups.
Yeah, this was how I think of the dynamic on how they've been doing the Amazing Race lately, because like they used to do like long introductions in the very beginning. Like that's how I remember the Amazing Race, and then seeing this is like we're getting it throughout, which is still odd to me, but hey, at least we're still getting race content that we're wanting to get, which we did get a lot this episode. So I guess one of the biggest highlights we got from this episode for like team introductions, obviously Jackie and Lauren, because we got to hear like some of their story, and we did get to see part of that story like during social media previews as well. So that was one of the biggest things we got from that. So then we also got from Brett and Michael.
We got a bit from Scott and Lori.
Mm-hmm.
We got a little bit from Courtney and Jasmine, and we got to hear the various different times that Nick and Mike failed to get on the show.
Yeah. Seven times.
Several
times. If you watch Survivor, you know several means 7.
But yeah, I mean, nice, easy start of like, oh, introduce yourselves, give us a little bit about you. We hear from like 4 teams.
Yeah.
For the 14. We don't even get like half the cast.
I'm like, y'all gonna do this whole big thing with 14 different cast members or teams or whatever. You could at least let us talk to, like, y'all got time. Like, you got time to let us to introduce at least half of the cast. So, but apparently they did not have the time. They were like 4 teams. That's it. Let's get this race going. Like they really was like, no, we're not doing that. But no, I thought it could have been more. I thought we were going to get more. We didn't get more.
But I mean, with that, just out of the gate, because I guess I haven't really heard y'all's opinion, unfortunately. At least not yet, because this is our first episode.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you rooting for? Just out the gate, based on everything we have this season, who are y'all rooting for?
I mean, I see, here's the thing. Me and Brandon actually had this conversation during our draft picks when we picked, and unfortunately Jack was not there to hear our picks for our draft. We'll talk about that later. But I know me and Brandon went back and forth because Brandon stole people from me. And I was like, I can't believe you stole them from me. And then so I in return stole someone from Brandon. And I was like, and he was like, I can't believe you stole them from me. And I was like, turnabout is fair play. So we went back and forth. But I will say, after watching this episode, I might like more people that's probably not on my draft pick than I do that are on my draft pick team. Because, okay, I absolutely fell in love with first watching what was it was not, was it Kerrigan and
Bernie and Kerrigan. Yeah.
Bernie and Kerrigan. I liked them a lot, but Courtney and Jasmine, I love them. I love them. I hated this episode for them. I kind of wanted to just scream because I had a lot of mixed feelings about watching them on this journey. I'm trying not to spoil things before we get to where we need to get to, but I was just like, my heart went out to them, and I was just like, oh, I love them so much in this episode. I was rooting so hard for them in this episode. But also, favorites of mine, and this is purely just me being carnal and lustful, Pops and Jeff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, both of them can get it. Both of them can get it. I enjoy watching them on my screen. I hope they don't go anywhere for a very long time because
yeah.
Oh.
Early favorite of mine from the beginning, obviously. I need to make a correction. I accidentally said Michael. It's actually Mark. So Brett and Mark.
Yes.
So Brett and Mark, favorite from the get-go, because obviously we know Mark because he was on Drag Race for the makeover challenge.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest surprise for me, and I wish we could have drafted them, Scott and Lori.
Yes, we dropped a bag on that. We dropped it.
Wish I had said something, because the one thing we do know about Scott and Lori is they were representation for this entire season on a different CBS game show. So, like, they specifically went up against name is not coming to me. Noelle and one other person, brain is not working, but on a different CBS game show to basically promote this season. And they are really funny. Like, I cannot lie. They have very much surprised me in this first episode. I was not like really looking at them, but I am very, very happy that they're doing well this episode.
Yeah. Now, on the flip side, is there anybody on that you saw that we were just like, that's a little disappointing. I don't know how I feel about them anymore.
It's so weird because like we had our preconceived notions about Nick and Mike.
Right.
I mean,
For good reason.
For good reason. But I will say, like, you can see how competitive they are, which I respect.
I can see how much they want this, which I also respect. I like a good super fan, and especially for shows like The Amazing Race, because a lot of people are not always fans of Amazing Race. They're like, oh, I'm a super fan of Survivor. Oh, I'm a super fan of Big Brother. That's where those games get the super fans, and we hear all about them. And now we're going to get a whole lot of super fans of Traders about that. But we hardly ever hear people say, I'm a super fan of The Amazing Race. Like, I know who... I've been watching Amazing Race since the beginning, and I know the teams who won, and like, we don't hear that a lot. So to see that they actually have been trying to get on this show for they auditioned 7 times to get on the show. I mean, I don't know if y'all heard that, but they auditioned 7 times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They told us quite a bit that they auditioned 7 times. But what I loved is seeing the joy in their faces when they were doing little things like, we just got our first roadblock. I'm so excited. We're in a cab or we're in our car for The Amazing Race driving to the airport. Like, we're doing the Amazing Race. And those little moments make my soul happy because I am a super fan of the Amazing Race. I am one of those people who's like, I've been watching the Amazing Race from the beginning. I just haven't been brave enough to actually put in the audition to do the Amazing Race. I want to do it with my whole heart, but I don't know if I can do it, and I scare myself from doing it. So, and I look, I own up to that. I understand that, but I love seeing people actually have joy and just take in the moments of doing what they dreamt of doing so many times. So seeing that excite, yes, for reasons of other reasons outside of the Amazing Race, I'm not particularly a fan or with them or be like, those are my guys. They will be my guys. But on this show, for what they are doing, I enjoy watching them be happy. And I love anybody being happy. So the joy that they have by playing out their dreams and we get to watch that, I can appreciate that. I love that for them. But so we do start in the Academy of Museum of Motion Pictures in Hollywood. Like they're there. That's where their starting point is. I'm like, that's a heck of a starting point, actually, to get to go to the roof of the Academy Museum of Motion Pictures. And we get them talking, Phil does their introductions and then sends them off into the world, telling the world is waiting, get ready, and they off. And so they go and have to run down all these stairs and get to their luggage. And once they get to their luggage, they open up their clue to find where they are going. And their first destination is Hong Kong. And baby, I would have peed my pants if I would have opened up a thing to tell me I'm going to Hong Kong, because that's on the bucket list. Like, I want to go to Hong Kong. I want to go there. And so to hear that they got to do that, and you could see how everybody was excited. Like, what? Like, half of these people probably was like, we have never even thought about going to Hong Kong, and now we get to do this and go to Hong Kong. But there are 2 flights, and they can catch these 2 flights. They have to get to LAX and check in and then get on these flights. And each flight is leaving like an hour away from each other. So people want to get on that first flight. And it was a scramble when they were booking it, because people were getting out of that and getting to LAX so fast that people who thought they were in a lead ended up on the second flight. And it was like, what happened here?
It genuinely could have been, because basically every single team ends up at the desk at basically the same time. It genuinely could have been, oh, you parked the car in a weird way. Oh, your parking spot was slightly farther away. You took like one wrong road or took 2 long gang directions. Like, and there were only 4 spots on the first flight as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So,
Which is wild.
Which is wild. I'm like, Amazing Race, you are diabolical for that. For just giving them 4 teams out of 14 one flight, and then the rest of them got to get on that second flight. Crazy.
But I mean, based on the like 4 or 5 different places in this leg where teams have to stop and wait for something to happen, I'm sure they realized this and went, it probably
doesn't
fine,
matter.
right? Like, it's fine.
It doesn't matter. We always have an equalizer, and we do. And we always will have the greatest equalizer. Either it's going to be at the airport or other place. It's fine. It's fine. And they knew. And they knew. Because once these teams all checked in and the 4 people made it to the first flight and to Hong Kong, they fly to Hong Kong, and this hour lead that they thought they had, it diminished a little bit because their flight was 18 minutes late. And in the Amazing Race, 18 minutes might not seem like a lot to regular folks. Like, oh, it's just 18 minutes late. In the Amazing Race, 18 minutes is like 30 minutes. It's like you have literally just cut my lead in half with this delay. And how did we get delayed in the air? Like, what do we do? That is one thing about airplanes and flights that I will never understand. But a flight leaves on time and arrives late is boggling to me. What did you do? Slow down in the air? Did we stop? What did we do in the air? How does that happen?
I mean, I will say this: when I flew to San Diego this past a couple months ago, we were delayed an hour landing because of weather.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes you got to circle. Sometimes you got to circle. Yeah,
So
that's happened to me too.
that is a possibility because the first flight was 18 minutes late, but then the second flight was 11 minutes early.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, which again, you take those 18 minutes late and that 11 minutes early, that just closed the gap on that first group severely. So, and yes, that has happened to me. We had to circle around like 3-4 times before we were able to land because the runway was full. But so they get to Hong Kong and then they have to get on a taxi to go to Tiantan Buddha. And number one, you tell me we're going to see the biggest Buddha in the world. I'm excited. I can't wait to see it. And Amazing Race, the shots that you get when they are driving up to the Buddha and they show the Buddha just coming into, it makes me want to I want to go to Hong Kong so bad. I want to go so bad because it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. I'm not Buddhist, and Buddha is not something that, it should, but the beautifulness, the gorgeousness, the respect you just have to have for the different cultures and what they cherish and what they hold sacred is beautiful. And that statue is beautiful. But I would not want to climb. I got nervous. I would not want to climb all those stairs. I thought Amazing Race was going to be diabolical again and make them climb all the stairs all the way up. Thankfully, they stopped them halfway and they didn't have to go to the top of the stairs, but they just made it midway. And I was like, oh, okay.
Again, it's a race. They gotta like go. So
right.
Since why it's halfway. Now, fun fact: I've been there. So.
Oh, okay.
I wish I had the pictures to prove it, but like my parents have it somewhere, so I need to like pull that up. So maybe next episode I'll show you where I was.
I was about to say, put it in the Discord, Brandon. We will see it. We want to see them all.
Yes. But yeah, I have been to Hong Kong. I went in 2014, so was familiar with some of the stuff that happened here. So,
did you see the Buddha?
I did see the Buddha.
Oh, love that. But they have to climb halfway up these stairs to go find the clues. And the first group gets there and they're trugging. And I loved seeing them, first I like the different stages of, oh my God, what are we doing? Like they also thought they would have to climb all those stairs because it was just like, oh, okay, let's just do it. And we see Jack and Carson. What do I call him? Carson. They go. They take it off. Jonathan and Anna is right behind them. They take it off. And I was like, oh, okay. And it was just funny because you see Jack and Carson, and they're like, we're Dungeons and Dragons streamers. That's what we do. We're not like in the gym working out. We're little small people, but we got hope and determination and grit and heart and all that stuff. And they killing it. Like they running up them stairs like it ain't nothing. Then they get halfway up and they're like, okay, whew. Oh, my knees. Oh, my legs. I just like seeing everybody's reaction to that. Was there any moments in that stood out besides my one moment with Jackie and Lauren? But any other moments?
I mean, other than just like every single team going, oh, wow, this is gonna suck in the morning. Just realizing like, oh great, we just did like a good 200 stairs at least as our first ever like full task on the Amazing Race. That's gonna do great things for us.
That's awesome. My body's going to love this, isn't it? Yeah, no, yeah, I would have just been like, please no, God, no. Like, and then because they want you to move, like you gotta move, you're racing. I want to leisurely take those stairs, like looking at the sights, looking around at the, the water, the Buddha, just da da da. No, I have to run. No. No, I'm not happy with that. But we hear that Lauren actually has a fear of stairs. Like she doesn't like stairs. She feels like when she goes down the stairs, she's falling down the stairs. I wonder if going up the stairs is okay for her because they didn't say anything about her going up. It's the coming down. And I can understand that because I do sometimes, for me, I have issues going downstairs because I feel like I'm falling or I tip over or whatever. And so I always feel like I need to take my time. My knees are bad, y'all. So I'm like, if I fall, I'm down for a long time. Like there is no getting right back up. And so I've been going downstairs. Like I have like 4 steps going into my house, go down, and I gotta go up another flight of steps to go into my house. And every time I get on those 4 steps, as many times as I've done it, I still gotta be like, okay, all right, make sure I take that first step that I don't fall. So I understand it, but her fear is way more severe than I've ever heard of. Like I've never heard of somebody having that big of a stair phobia.
I think she ended up mentioning on the episode that I want to say during a hurricane season, she was wearing flip-flops and fell going downstairs and like really got hurt. So I don't blame her at all. Like,
oh, absolutely.
But they also just were like, yeah, we didn't think to train for that for the Amazing Race. Like, of all things, I don't blame you for not thinking going downstairs would be an issue.
Yeah, she mentioned that she needed surgery. So
yeah.
Which it's like, oh wow. And Hong Kong is notorious for their typhoon season as well. So and it was raining, but it wasn't typhoon season at that point. But honestly, like it can happen at any point. So
that's always something you have to think about. But like you said, I don't think about stairs being a thing. But if it is something in your life, that's something you have to take into consideration. Like if I go on Amazing Race, we might have to go up a bunch of stairs or down a bunch of stairs. So, and they definitely like their stairs in Amazing Race. I'll tell you that. But after they go and get the clue tells them to go to Central Piers, and they had to take the Sun Ferry to Chiang Chau, and search the promenade for their next clue. No big deal. This is what we see Jonathan and Anna get out, and they got back down and got in a taxi and headed to the ferry. They took the right path, and Carson and Jack ended up taking a longer. They got there, but they took the scenic route to get to the pier, and it was a pier leaving at 9:20.
Just flat 9 a.m.
9 a.m. and then another one leaving at 9:45.
Yes.
And so they were like, we need to get on this 9 o'clock ferry. And it was like they were so close, and it had 25 minutes. They were 25 minutes away, but the ferry left in like 30 minutes. So they literally had like 5 minutes to spare to get from where they were to get to that ferry. And they made it. They made it to the ferry. And it was like, okay, good on y'all. Y'all made it. They got on it. They were the only ones there. And they were excited. I mean, I would have been excited too. I'd be excited too. Like, hey.
I am sure that they did intentionally plan this out of like 9 a.m. and 9:45 because of the original flight times. It would have been the first 4 teams almost 100% making that 9 a.m. ferry, and then the second place teams 100% making the 9:45 ferry. But because the times became so close, that didn't happen, and we basically have a full neutralization of the race getting onto this second ferry.
A literal foot race.
Yeah. they it was crazy because like the 9:45, like Jonathan and Anna, only people on that 9 a.m. ferry, the only ones. And so they're excited. They're ecstatic. They didn't see anybody. They get to where they're going and they see that the returning ferry is at 10:45. So they hoping and praying that nobody will get there in time. But everybody is on this 9:45. Mostly everybody, not everybody. Mostly everybody made it on the 9:45 ferry and headed over and got the clue. The only team that did not make it on this ferry was Jackie and Lauren. And it was in that moment I was like, well, I see what's happening here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, well, we see what's happening right now. So who's going to be the second? Because what we failed to mention, Phil had already told them that it will be a double elimination because there will be a new twist added to the game called the fork in the road. Y'all, I was like, oh, what now? Oh, what now? But yeah, it's a fork in the road coming down the line. So everybody's anticipating what this fork in the road is going to be. We don't know what it is yet. We just know what's coming. But Lauren and Jackie are the only ones that did not make it on the 9:45 ferry. And it was just like, okay, well, what do we do? What do we do? What's going to happen? So they go and it's a roadblock. The first one is a roadblock. And the roadblock is one team member has to climb the Cheung Chao Bun Festival Bamboo Tower at Pak Thai Temple Playground. Who's ready for some ups and downs? Not me. Not
This
me.
seems fun. I mean, granted, I've done rock climbing, so this is like something where it's just like, okay, it's essentially a weird ladder-ish situation, but I'm in.
Brandon, you in?
I'm in because again, this is just like climbing a straight up bamboo tower, like straight up to the top. So I could have done this.
You guys go, because not me. Climbing, no, because that requires a lot. No, thank you. But I would have wanted my partner to have the best time doing it. I wish they would have let the buns be on there, because I thought when they showed us the example of the buns and what they do for the bun festival, I'm like, make them do that. Make them put buns in a bag and then grab the clue. And then, that just seemed fun. All the buns was falling off that. I was like, first of all, kudos whoever got to make that done tower and put all them buns on the tower. And then, yay, I don't know what is fun, but I'm here for it. I want to watch a bun festival. I'm here for the next one. Sign me up to watch. To watch. Sign me up to watch. But Anna is going to do this because she's the first one there. Now it's still raining, and so I'm guessing the rain is definitely going to make this a little bit much more difficult than it needed to be. Like, I'm sure dry bamboo is probably easier to climb up on than the slippery, wet bamboo that was happening. But she's doing the best she can. She's going at a good pace for what's good for her. She got it. She get it. Everybody's going to get it, by the way. Nobody's not going to get this because it just takes time to figure it out. She gets it. They go, and they're back at the ferry waiting for the 10:45 ferry. That's happening. Now, it's only 8 stations at this bamboo tower for everybody to climb. And in comes like 13 teams. 13 teams come running in at the same time almost. And so, of course, people have to wait. Now, I don't know about y'all, but Barrett, I don't know where that superhuman came from, but the way he climbed that bamboo tower, I was like, say what, son?
I mean, he is a Cirque du Soleil dancer, so it made sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like, it's like, oh yeah, he's an acrobat. This is easier than what he does normally.
This is literally child's play to this man. Like, I'm sorry, I forgot to put this up so y'all can see who we talking about while we talking about him. This is literally child's play to this man. He is just like, he scaled that thing. I was like, did he even touch the thing? He just glided up there so fast. I was like, man, you kind of ate that. You kind of ate that, and I am impressed. I am impressed with your skills and how you did that. We had some other, because what's his face? Josiah did it pretty quickly too.
Mhm.
He kind of got out. I was very impressed with how fast a lot of these people were going up there. We saw Pops. Pops is 64 years old, y'all. Let's remember that. And he did it all arms. Like, hardly ever used his feet and legs. Now, he probably would have got it faster. He probably would have got it faster if he used his legs. But how? He's 64.
Again, all that muscle, like, had to be somewhere.
I genuinely can't imagine. I mean, doing that with your arms and then doing the giant Tianten stair hike, like, how is his body still moving?
Sick. All I know is this man was impressive. They all were pretty impressive. Lori got up there. She's about my age, and a mother of 8 boys, by the way. 8 boys. Now y'all know how y'all are, y'all boys, and when you're young, y'all 8 of them. Oh my God, 8 ranging from 9 to 24, and he works out of town, so she is at home with these boys. Queen.
Not just out of town, out of state.
Out of state. So she's home with him, with these 8 boys, most of the time by herself. Queen.
Yeah, queen. What can you say?
Queen. That's all. Much respect to her. But everybody gets through that, and it's fun. Everybody gets through that, and it's a fine thing. So after the roadblock, the teams they found their next clue at Lock Quan Street Park. Now, after they get up, they have to now go back to the ferry, get on the ferry and go, and then get to Lock Quan Street Park. Jonathan and Anna are at the ferry, and they're like, we're waiting, we go get this, and then all of a sudden 13 teams show up.
God.
Could you imagine how, like, I understood Jonathan's frustration. I got it. I understood it. Because you imagine you have been done with this roadblock, you did it, and you've been waiting almost a half hour in this line waiting, and it's like 20 minutes left, if that, and you think we can, if they don't show up, we're good and we'll keep our lead, first place. Bam, all of a sudden 13 other teams show up, and now you're like, there goes my lead. The great equalizer has shown its ugly face right now. I would have been annoyed, like, oh no.
Again, they had little effort to get on the first ferry, and then they have to wait this long for the ferry going back, and then to realize, oh wait, like they're about to close the gap now.
Yeah,
like.
Basically every single team except for Jackie and Lauren, because the ferry that everyone gets on to go back is the ferry that Jackie and Lauren take in.
Yes.
I mean, if anything, thankful that it's a double elimination because otherwise this episode would have no tension whatsoever.
Yes.
But you could see it in their faces how crushed they were. All of their planning, all of their strategy just goes out the window and great, back to a foot race.
Yeah, Jonathan was visibly pissed, like visibly pissed. He was literally shaking. Like this man wanted. He was so mad. He was just like, if he could punch something, he probably would have. He was so upset, and I'm like, I get your frustration. I get it. But they all get on the ferry. They head back, and they have to get to Locquan Street Park. So they got to get in a taxi to get to Locquan Street Park. And it seemed easy enough for everybody else except Courtney and Jasmine. They could not get a taxi to take them to Locquan Street Park. Now, I was like, what is happening? Why is every cab driver telling them no? Like, everybody's saying no. And they're showing them the clue, but they're saying no. What is it? I'm like, I'm confused. I don't know about y'all. I was so confused about what was happening here. I was like, everybody else got a cab quickly. And everybody else was doing the same thing that they were doing, but they were not able to. And I'm like, they were showing them the clue. So I don't understand what it was. And everybody's like, it's a language barrier. It's something that's happening. And maybe they're not showing them the right thing. And I'm like, what is it to show if they're handing the cab driver the clue and saying, can you get us here? And they're still saying no. So, of course, a lot of me and my conspiracy theories, I was like, what is happening around here? What is going on, really? Hong Kong, are y'all gonna make me change my mind about y'all? Because what is really going down around here? And then I'm like, but that can't be the case because everybody else got the clue and got a cab driver. So what is happening? And guess what? I'm still confused. I still don't understand what it was about Courtney and Jasmine that they couldn't get the cab drivers to see what they were talking about until they pointed out a specific part of the clue. But I'm like, if they handed the driver the clue in the first place, wouldn't he have looked where they were pointing the time they eventually got the clue? Like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's something that we don't see with the clues or whatever. I was just confused, and I'm still confused, to be honest.
Yeah, me and you both, or probably all three of us. Because here's the thing, and I don't know what it. I think this is like from way back when. Like a lot of Hong Kong taxi drivers like usually memorize where everything is.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like one theory that I have. Like they actually genuinely don't know where this place is. Now, the other theory, I don't want to think about this. So
that's what I was thinking too.
And I mean, unfortunately, we don't have the other test case because they're still on the island getting the first part done.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very strange. And I mean, they did have, whenever Courtney and Jasmine were talking, they did have it, instead of writing it as actually Locquan, they had it misspelled as lock, as in a thing that you can lock.
L-O-C-K.
And then I can't exactly remember what they used for Quan, but I guess they were really, it didn't sound different to us. And also, I am 99% sure if someone else went to ask about that location just by looking it up on their phone, probably they will mispronounce it as well because American tongue is different in terms of how we do syllables.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't make sense that it was just a language barrier, especially when they just started showing them the clue. Because at a certain point, they were like, there is literal like Chinese text here that says exactly what we need. Can you read this and send us here? And they still said no.
I literally would have went to someone and be like, excuse me, like on the street, like, hello, do you speak any English? I know it's, probably a needle in a haystack, but like, yes, anybody speak English? Can you direct the taxi driver to this place? Do you know how to get to this place? Can you tell him or them, whoever, how to get to this place? Because after a while, after I am failing miserably at getting a cab, I'm going to have to find somebody. I'm going to go to a hotel, find a concierge. I'm going to go somewhere and be like, because apparently I'm doing something wrong. So we need to figure out how to do it. But I don't know. Like you said, the other test that we could see was not on the island yet to see if that was what it was or if it was something else, if it was language, if they just were pronouncing it weird, or I'm just confused. I am still confused. I still don't know what it is. But they had to get to Lockdown Street Park and find the next clue, and they were told that the fork in the road was ahead. So when the teams get to the fork in the road, they saw that they had to pick between two routes, either the dance or the sing. Now, my question to you two, which one are you doing? Dancing or singing?
Okay. So I'm familiar with both of these. Very familiar with both of these because like I am very versed in lion dance and I know what the Chinese opera is, like specifically the Cantonese opera.
Opera.
Now, personally for me, because I've experienced it firsthand and I actually wanted to do it, I would have done dance. So
I think for me, this is someone who has visual experience with both of these things, but no like actual experience. I know that they are going to cater the singing to someone who knows only English because they can't expect any sort of Chinese like they can't expect any sort of phonetics around that. And since I have two left feet, I would 100% go with sing and just figure out what is the best strategy to deal with whatever is going on.
Yes. Me personally, the second I saw it, I'm like, sing. I'm singing. I'm singing all day because number one, I don't have time to sit here and learn this dance. And I'm a decent dancer, but I am not the best dancer picking up dance moves. So I'm like, no, I'm a sing. And then I will have, what would be my Achilles heel to this though? Because I am a singer, I would have to realize that this is not a karaoke bar. This is not a talent show. This is not you trying to show off. This is you singing what they tell you to sing, how they tell you to sing it. So as much as I would want to add my own Chichani, that's not what that's here for. We're not here to do that. We're here to just sing what they told you to sing. So you got to do ching you, like you sing it how they say do it so you can get out of there. And so that would be my first, like, I would have to break it down like, Lana, this ain't about you. This ain't no talent show. This ain't nobody doing a record deal trying to pick you up. This is you singing what they told you to sing. But I would immediately go for sing because the dance had to perform a lion dance routine. And we've all seen the lion dance routine. We've all seen them. If you know anything about Chinese New Year's or anything about the Chinese culture, you've seen a lion dance. And it's a lot of movement and, especially if you're the head of the dragon, or the lion, you have to do a lot of moving and you are the head, you got to do the things. And then the body, you have to support that. So it's a lot going on with the Chinese dance. And then for the sing, you had to perform a section of a Cantonese opera, which involves singing in Cantonese. Which I'm like, okay, if I can look, fake it till you make it. If you see a word to say SIE and you go say sing, and they be like, no, sing. Okay, sing. Okay, I got that. Two, got that too. Ni hao. Okay, got that. Like you just listen to what they're saying and you repeat. I'm a parrot at this moment. So I would definitely choose sing. But each route had a limit of 7 teams to each route. And so the choices became like some people didn't even have a choice at this point. Like the last 2 teams do not have a choice. You have to go with whatever is left at that point. And then once you finish that, you will check into the pit stop at Kowloon Cultural District, West Kowloon Cultural District. Now, again, I am about to sing Brett and Mark's praises because they are the entertainers of the group and they pick dance. I'm trying to look and see it. Do anybody have the list of the teams who picked sing and who picked dance?
I do, yes.
Okay. So who picked dance?
So for dance, we have Brett and Mark, Carson and Jack, Ernest and Bridget, Bernie and Kerrigan, Mark and Larry, Nick and Mike, Courtney and Jasmine.
Mm-hmm. And then sing.
On sing, we have Jonathan and Anna, Melinda and Erica, Alyssa and Josiah, Han and Holden, Pops and Jeff, Scott and Lori, and Jackie and Lauren.
Right. So we see a couple of people being strategic about where they were going to go because they saw a lot of people choosing dance right off the bat. And so when it got to like 3 or 4 people had picked dance, Jonathan was like, well, we got to go sing. And Anna was like, dance. I'm a dancer. We dance. That's what we do. He was like, yeah, but it's already 4 or 5 people here to dance. It makes no sense for us to try to, we should go. And she was like, makes sense. Let's go sing. Mm-hmm. And so a lot of people were like trying to be strategic about which one they pick, but a lot of people were like, I just like dancing. We dancing. I like to sing. Let's go sing. And it paid off for some. It paid off for a few of them. The people who was like killing it, we saw Brett and Mark. They kind of ate that up. Did they even go but once? I think they only went once.
They went 3 times.
They went 3 times? Yeah. Okay, because I'm like, we only saw them do it once, but they did probably say third attempt, and I just missed it. We saw they just kind of ate it up, and they did really well.
Carson and Jack were rather fast as well. I want to say they also did it in about 2 or 3 attempts, but they also noted that they practiced for a very small amount of time.
Yeah, the first time they did it, it was just really bad because they didn't practice enough. But when they realized, okay, yeah, this is a little bit harder than what we thought it was, let's go practice some more. And they took the time to actually learn the things. It started working out really, really well for them. Alyssa and Josiah chose sing, and they were the first people to get there for a sing. And they were like, okay, we karaoke all the time. We can do this. We can do this. If you were in a karaoke place where we are, you probably see us there because we karaoke all the time. And then they got in there, and the judge was like, no. She was like, no, that's not going to work for us. You have to do better than that. And here's the thing. Singing was not just singing. It was dancing involved in that too, and performing. And so
it was basically almost like a very physical dance or a subdued dance and singing.
Yeah. You have to know how to fold the sleeve and when to pop the sleeve and how not to turn your head and when to turn your like it was a lot of moving parts in the singing, but I guess it worked out for it balanced it out between the physical dancing and then the singing with a little bit of dancing. But
I mean, maybe it was because of the order that people were sent, that people went to the different locations, but I don't necessarily think this was balanced as much because we literally have the entirety of a leg of the race finish.
Yeah.
Before we even get the second place team of the other side. And maybe that was editing. Maybe that was editing just to make storylines clear and all that. But like,
Maybe.
If it wasn't, oh my God, there's definitely a much more difficult, strenuous option.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, because the singing had to get into makeup and everything. Like the dancing had to get into makeup. They just had to put on the pants.
Put on the lion pants, yeah.
And then go on. Like they had to go full makeup and learn all this stuff. So yeah, I think it was very probably more unbalanced with the singing than the dancing. But we did see the dancing. People start catching on to dance much more sooner. And like I said, it could be editing, could not. Maybe that's just how it was. But we see the dancing, like literally all the dancing. We know the results of the dancing leg way before we know the third place finisher of the singing leg, which is wild. But I'll just say this. So the first place in the singing and the dancing, because that's how the banners are, and I don't want to spoil anything, but when we get the first place of the singing and the dancing, for the dance, it was Jack and Carson, and for singing, it was Alyssa and Josiah. They both win for their legs, and they get $3,000 a piece. So, yay. Good on them. We see Jack's hand. There we go. Yeah.
I tried to cover that quickly. I was like, we're blocking Jack.
You blocked Jack completely, but it's okay. It's all right. Jack doesn't mind. But so we see that happen, and then all the teams start trickling in after that. We got in second place. Let's do dance first. So in second place for the dance, it was Mark and Brett. I don't want to call him man Barrett. His name is Brett, not Barrett. So Mark and Brett come in second. And then third place was
Ernest and Bridget.
Okay.
And then we have almost a rush of the
Everybody
other
else.
4 teams coming in all at once.
Yeah. Yeah. We got Scott and Lori.
Have
Scott and Lori wasn't sing.
Oh, they sing. Okay.
We have Bernie and Kerrigan coming in first, followed almost directly by Nick and Mike, followed almost directly by Courtney and Jasmine,
followed almost directly
by
Mark, our first person. Well, we'll mention them at the same time as we do the sing, because the sing starts finally coming in and filing in. We see Alyssa and Josiah coming in first, and then we see it was Jonathan and Anna coming second, and Jonathan is not happy. Which was where, after a while, I got annoyed with him. I was like, okay, Jonathan, we get it. You didn't come in first. We get it. Like, suck it up. This is the first leg. You came in second place. You should kind of be happy. Like,
oh no, burned your lead that you weren't promised at all, and then still came in second place. I also have like a sneaking suspicion that Jonathan pushed to do sing because he had a feeling that if they did dance, they were not going to come in first.
Yeah.
And that is the specific, and that's like one of the reasons they went for it. I think strategically it also made sense to do sing at that point, but that was probably a factor.
I think so too. I was like, he is going to be the one to get on my nerves. He is going to, because he is going to pout every time they don't come in first place. He's going to be so extra when they do come in first place, and he's going to be super extra when they don't. So I'm like, oh man.
Yeah.
I hope not. I'm hoping he kind of calms down and mellows out. But yeah, he was so mad to come in second. I've never seen anybody as mad come in second place ever on the first leg. Because you could be going home, but you're in second place, my guy. Relax. Calm down. But Jonathan and Anna come in second place. Boo-hoo for him. And then I'm sorry. I really don't have any love for that right now. I can't
Valid.
do it.
Valid.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah. So third place was this Scott and Lori?
Yes.
Yes, because they come in with Pops and Jeff, who are fourth place. Who then comes in with Han and Holden,
Yes.
who are fifth place, and then bringing up the last who, okay, we have to talk about Melinda and Erica because my girl Melinda was like, we're doomed. We're done. Everything's over. Every time something went wrong for them, she was like, we're done. We're out. We're done. We can't. We lost. And Eric was like, stop. Mom, stop. We can't do this right now. Just stop it right now. And Melinda's like, oh, okay. We'll do it. And then they'll make another thing and then they'll get it right. And Eric was like, see, you did it right. You did it right. Thanks, Mom. You got it right. Okay, good. We're back in it. And then they'll make a mistake. Oh, we're doomed. Oh, we lost. Oh, it's over. Woe is us. This race is over. I was like, Melinda, calm down, girl.
God.
Like, calm down, girl. Everything is not the end. But she was like, we're done. It's over. Oh,
But
no.
something about the dramatics
I
makes
loved
it so
it.
entertaining, and I love it.
It's so funny. I laughed so much with him. I thought it was hilarious.
We even have at the very end, like Belinda, as they're running to the mat, is like, oh, it's over. We're done. Erica's like, please just stop talking like that for 2 seconds. We are going to figure that out. At least run for the last second if you can.
Exactly.
She was like, oh, we're done. It's over. It's over. It's over, Erica. We're lost. I was like, girl, stop.
I can't remember, but were Melinda and Erica forced into sing, or did they still have a choice?
I think they had a choice.
Yeah, they had a choice. They did have a choice. Yeah.
Because everyone knows that the other team has not been seen throughout the entire leg. So I guess if you don't know exactly who placed things on the fork in the road board after you wouldn't necessarily know.
Mm-hmm.
But you do know that one team is dead last. So there is also the moment of, hey, we definitely know there's a team behind us. We just have to hope they chose our option or we're forced into it. Because then we're good.
Right. They weren't thinking about that. Melinda was not thinking about that. Melinda was thinking about how all is lost. The world is over. They took a wrong turn. They couldn't find the taxi. Like, doom. It's over. They're going home. We're going home. And then feels like, oh, and you're 6.
Mm.
And she's like, oh my God, we're still in it. I was like, girl, if you don't cut the dramatics, but actually don't cut the dramatics, keep it going because it's funny and entertaining.
It makes good TV.
It's entertaining. So continue that. But they make it 6, which means we do end up losing from dance Mark and Larry, and then from singing, we all knew it from the fairy, it's Jackie and Lauren. It's crazy because, and here's where I just love Courtney and Jasmine. This is where I fell in love with them in this moment when they were deciding which one they were going to do, if they were going to take sing or they were going to do dance. It was the last one for them. And they were like, you know what? We're going to pick dance because Nick and Mike and Mark and Larry are in front of us and we think we can pass them up on a dance. And they pretty much almost did that. Like, they beat both of them. Well, Nick and Mike got out before they did, but not too far behind them. And then they got out before Mark and Larry. And all 3 of them were in a cluster getting to the pit stop. Jasmine and Courtney again with this with this taxi, it's another thing about these taxis, but they did better. They got one right away.
Mm-hmm.
Nick and Mike couldn't get a taxi this time around. They were having trouble even flagging one down. Mark and Larry's taxi was pretty quick. They got it pretty quick from the edit that we saw anyway. But it was a foot race from the taxi to the pit stop for all three teams because every one of them saw each other. All of them saw each other. It just got to the point where Nick and Mike, of course, was going to beat the foot race. And Mark and Larry's knees just couldn't do it. I think after that climb up those stairs and, climbing the tower, the knees just gave out. He just was exhausted. He couldn't do it as fast as Courtney and Jasmine. And so Mark and Larry ended up losing. And then we saw Jackie and Lauren. We knew from way back in the first ferry, when they didn't make that second ferry with everybody, that they were pretty much out. And but they enjoyed themselves. Jackie had a breakthrough at the bamboo tower. She actually made it up and she was so proud of herself. She cried all the way down. We had her helping Lauren overcoming the fear of the stairs in those moments. They just enjoyed Hong Kong and the time that they spent there. They did their singing run pretty well and pretty fast from what we saw. We don't know how long it actually took them. But they came to the mat all smiles, so happy. And even Phil was like, I just love seeing your smile. Like, I felt in that moment, Phil did not want to see them go either. Like, I think he really had a soft spot for them and he didn't want to see them go. But they were so grateful. And Mark and Larry was so grateful. Like, even Larry started crying because he was like, this is my brother. And I know if I pick up the phone, you sometimes never know who's going to answer. I know he will always answer for me. And I was just like, oh, I love their friendship. I love their little relationship that they had, their brotherhood. And I love that Jackie and Lauren did this for their mother, who wanted to do all the traveling when she said she wants to travel the world once she had retired. But when she got to retirement age, she found out she had Parkinson's. So she wasn't able to do that. And so they were doing this for her so they could try to say, Mom, we traveled the world for you. And they got to Hong Kong, which some people would never get to. Some of us have never traveled outside the United States. Some people have never traveled outside of Europe. But they got to go to Hong Kong, and it was amazing. And I'm sad to see both of these teams go because both of them seem like lovely human beings. Oh, I forgot. There's Mark and Larry's departure. They're on the plane back. And I'm so sad. I hate that. But the other one, I forgot which one I did with Jackie and them. I can't find it. I'm sorry. I did another one with Jackie and them. It'll be on there. It didn't download. Oh no. How dare it?
Oh wow.
How dare it? But it's another plane over Jackie and whatever. But that was that. It was sad. But we have to talk about the draft because Brandon, we took a hit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We took a hit. Logan is the only one who did not. And so it is. We both took a hit with Brandon having Mark and Larry and me having Jackie and Lauren.
I'll just take the team in the back of Scott and Lori. I'll
you
just
get Scott and Lori and Nick and Mike. Nick and Mike and Scott and Lori are your teams.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm very happy to get one of them.
Yeah. Look, next time.
And the other one is there.
I'm going to fix it next time and have you in the middle, Jack, of just Jack and Lori and Scott and Lori,
and
Nick and Mike,
and
right here in this
just
middle,
right dead center.
Right dead center. Just two little pictures and your name above it. Just that'll be you. But yeah, I'll have next week. You'll be in on the draft with your two teams. But that's how it goes, y'all. That's me and Brandon took a hit, but we're not worried, Brandon. We no frets. There's a lot of teams left.
Yep. So race to go.
It's a lot of race to go, and we know that next week the second leg is going to still be in Hong Kong. They're staying in Hong Kong. So I'm excited to see they're going to Osaka. Let me change it. They're going to Osaka, but they're still in Japan. So that's great. So they're going to Osaka for the next leg. So I can't wait to see, because first of all, I just want to go to Japan, and I'm in awe of all the technological advances in Japan, that I want to see that firsthand and just be like, I just want to see it. I just want to see it.
No, same. Like, Japan is like literally one of like the top places I want to travel to.
So I'm excited for that. I can't wait till next week.
And we do actually know the twist of the episode for next week as well.
Ooh.
It is the well-awaited return of the intersection, where two teams will have to complete a task together.
Until further notice. So we are essentially going to get 6 super teams next episode, at least for a portion of the race.
I find that to be insane and hilarious. And you know who's going to blow a gasket? Jonathan.
Jonathan, yeah.
He's going to lose his mind, because he's going to be like, I don't want to work with a team. I don't want to do any of that. So, but that's fine.
Not that I want to see either of the teams get hit by this, but I want to see them get partnered with Alyssa and Josiah, or Carson and Jack, just to be like, yeah, so we won last leg. Okay, so I have to deal with that hubris the entire leg.
Right. Like, just, yeah. Crazy. I mean, wild. I'm excited about that. I want to see what happens. This intersection is making it very interesting for me. So I can't wait to see how that turns out. Look, we can't wait to see how that turns out. But I'm excited, and we'll be back next week to talk about it all, because that's what we do here. So thanks for joining us. We appreciate you taking the time to listen. And if you listen to us for this whole hour and such time, and you haven't hit the subscribe button, what are we doing? Like, apparently you like us enough to listen to us. So hit the subscribe button. Help us reach our goal of 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We appreciate it. And follow us on this channel and all of our other channels. All those things will be in the description below, as well as our audio podcast links. So you can check us out on the go, and our Patreon, and our socials at The Cup Pod on Blue Sky, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. You can follow the 3 of us on all of our socials as well. You see them down there. And you can get your merch at LanaG'sCreations@Etsy.com. And that's great. We're going to get out of here, because I feel like everybody's tired at this point. And we should go to bed now. So cheers, y'all.
Cheers.
Bye.